Welcome back to the RecklessWrenchGarage. This is going to be part 2 of the back half build. On the last episode, you saw me cut the truck in half and start some of the tube work, and now we're just going to continue that. We're going to throw more tubes at it, and it's going to be a lot of welding and grinding and notching, and it's going to be a lot of fun. Let's get into it. Alright, so now I'm at the point where I need to notch these down tubes to fit over this horizontal bar. They are still free up here and they swivel back and forth, but as I said in the last video, notching kind of makes me nervous. So first what I did, I used the old paper towel tube and made like a form of the tube and kind of cut out what it needs to look like, transfer that to one of my scrap pieces of tube, and looks something like this, where this angle matches up to up there. It fits around the tube nicely. So my plan is now I'll transfer this to this tube, cut this out, and hopefully what I could do once this notch is on here, I'll be able to, and it will go into place, ideally. Whether or not that's gonna work how I planned, I don't know. I used my cardboard and put it on a piece of white paper just because this was a little bit easier to line up and get precise. And on this, I actually used the angle grinder to cut this out just because this is a super jacked up, weird notch. But I matched it up to my little template and this worked really awesome, by the way. And now, try her out. All right, this actually fit as I was planning on it, so that's awesome. The notch turned out pretty nice. It's about an 1/8 inch, maybe too short right there. No big deal at all. I'm not worried about that. That is perfectly fine and fit up nice. I have my gap on the joint up there to where I could fill it with weld and really butt them together good on that slug. And yeah, now I just have one more side to do, but super happy with how that turned out. That's awesome. this tube is gonna be a crossbar. It's gonna have just two 90-degree notches on each end. Pretty straightforward. One issue I've always had just doing plain 90-degree notches is, you know, you get one end of the tube notch, that's awesome, but then making sure the other end of the tube is completely in plane and notched on the same degree as this end can sometimes be challenging. You get 1 to 2 degrees off and they're clocked a little bit differently. So one thing that I do, I have, you know, another piece of 2-inch tubing. You just butt this one up right next to it, and then you can take your pen and go right in the butt crack there. Draw a line, one end, draw a line on the other, and you butt it up in that crack. That way, you'll then have a line on the exact same plane on each end. So when you measure down and mark it, you could start your hole saw on the exact same plane on both ends of the tube. So just one little quick tip that has helped me keep my tubing squared up. Quick little update, my camera batteries died when I was in the middle of putting this filler piece back in. But yeah, I just used the existing piece of sheet metal that I had, cut a hole in the middle of it, stuck it on there. I did some backer plates, I guess you'd call them, out of some 20 gauge sheet metal I had. That worked fairly well. This was a very kind of tricky area because there's a wall on the inside of the cab too, so it's very hard to access that section of it. This sheet metal is really hard for me to weld to. I suck at sheet metal. I mean, I'm not that good of a welder as it is, but sheet metal is really challenging. I needed to get this part done before I put in the crossbar that goes here, because once that bar is in place, I'm not gonna be able to get a grinder back in there. I'm not gonna be able to get a welder in there, so I really needed to fill that in before I proceed further. I'm gonna have to do the side tubes as well, just because I don't want to close anything off with the tube. It's gonna make it more difficult for me. I'm going to do a Raptor liner on the whole back of the cab as it is below the window, because I mean, this stuff it's just gonna get beat to crap with the tires throwing up rocks and anything like that. So I'm not super worried about paint per se. It doesn't have to look very nice, but that bed liner is really gonna cover up a lot of the imperfections as well. So I'm just gonna try and make it look a little bit nicer and then smooth it out, sand it, and then we're gonna move on. All right, I have worked myself all out of the weekend here, so I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I have a lot of fun putting all this tube work together. Some of it can be kind of tedious and time consuming, but I'm really happy with how it's turning out. On a future episode here, I'm going to be building the bypass mounts and a fuel cell mount. So that's going to be coming here soon. I have some new tools that I'm gonna try out from Evolution. I got a mag drill, which I have a project in mind for that one. I'm sure many of you are gonna be able to guess what it is. That one, I got some panel work in the future I'm planning on. And I also have a housing to build a custom rear 9-inch. So I'm gonna be ditching the existing 9-inch and truss system that I have. So I'm gonna put this together and build that out all badass and stuff. So that's gonna be on another episode as well. Once again, thanks for hanging out with me in the shop. Drop your comments down below if you have any questions on the build or anything upcoming. Hit that subscribe button if you want to hang around and see more projects. Make sure you check the links in the description for a discount on Evolution tools and a discount on Rouge Fab benders and notchers. That's all I got for you guys. Until next time, stay reckless. Okay, hi, okay, yep, you're gonna drive, yep. We're not gonna go anywhere, but you're gonna drive. Okay.